So yeah, what's roundtable initial reactions? What everyone think about it?
Genuinely, I was surprised, but also appreciative of what that movie is. I went into the movie with low expectations because they've already tried doing these movies too many times, and with this new interpretation, it far exceeded what I thought it was, but also it felt generic, just like
Mm,
a lot of the other Marvel movies, but it
damn.
wasn't like other Marvel movies where I feel dread just by the time the movie ends or while it's during. It felt like a big step from first step, pun intended, big step from Thunderbolts. I feel like it's a little bit better than what Thunderbolts was, and a little bit better than many of the other previous films after Endgame. So I appreciate this movie, and I think it was the default good one of Fantastic Four adaptations.
Super O.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I walked out of this movie really appreciating it. I especially love the familial bond that the Fantastic Four shares. They are the first Marvel family, and it really feels like it through their interactions with each other, how everyone kind of is, and the fact that are all. You could notice their like personality traits, even like personality traits that you think would clash. It's a real like uh they're fighting, but they're not like this is just family fighting. This is like a mom and dad arguing, or a brother and another brother having a spat. You know what I mean? Like I really enjoyed this, and I also think the set design as well for the world is really good as well. The fact that it takes place in well, I don't know if it's in the 1960s or if it's just a 1960 esque, but uh, it is like what's the word? Retro
Retro
futuristic.
Future, yeah.
Yes, it's like really retro futuristic how they have retro futuristic elements to the 1960s type setting, uh, which I thought looked really really good as well. And I think of note is like. Yeah, Alberto, you said I'm Beto. You said that
Part is not going to be edited out at all.
yeah. Before I die,
Clean
oh yeah,
take, clean take, clean take.
55 Main Street 001. You said
Whoa! Doxing me on episode 9.
But now you said that it's kind of like you felt like it was one of the more generic ones. But like I don't know, I didn't feel it with this one. Like I know that Marvel like puts out a lot of, especially nowadays, puts out like a lot of like schlop or just stuff that like is good, but it's like it's not like anything that hits like, some of their better or best projects, right? But like this one, I didn't feel like that.
Yeah, I got some like minor gripes with it, but I wouldn't call it generic. I mean, my gripes go to a deeper level, which I'll go to.
You'll find that out
uh,
in a solo video
All right. Well,
spinoff.
yeah, I'll give a little preview and talk about my initial thoughts. Are you gentlemen? Are you familiar with the concept of phantom pain?
I saw the
Okay.
title.
All right. So, phantom pain is what occurs when someone who's lost a limb or has lost some part of them, right? Even though it's gone, right, and there's nothing there, they could still feel a sensation of something that once was, right? Sometimes you can even still feel the pain from the limb, like it was, like, right. And I felt the cinematic equivalent of phantom pain watching this movie, which, in all regards, technically is a good movie. I like the characters, I like the art. I think it did some pretty cool and unique things. There's some really amazing sequence, which we'll get into a little bit later, with where I think when Sue is both trying to give birth and they're also trying to dodge a Silver Surfer, and they're doing this around a black hole. That's really great. There's some really great ideas in here. Upon what during the film and after film, I could not shake the feeling that parts of the movie were missing, right? And I believe I'm gathering evidence. Okay, I'm the evidence gathering phase, but I think this film was cut down significantly to fit into a 2-hour runtime, which I think works for the general audiences. But I think this film is a lot weirder and a bit long, maybe like 20 to 30 minutes longer originally. Maybe even sometime this year that was the cut of the movie. Especially when you look at all the trailer footage and all the you can kind of piece together. And all through the movie, there's these little bits where I feel like it's calling back to something that we have not seen, right? Because it was cut for time. We didn't mention it before, but like Mole Man, right, is in the film for a little bit, and he has a good scene, but he has a scene where he's very antagonistic with Reed Richards, and it feels like that's playing off of a scene that would have been in the original film because they establish in a montage that Sue was able to broker a deal with Subterranea and Mole Man, and it feels like that was something that was in the. There was a moment earlier in the film that's just not there, right? There's bits where Ben side plot with him sailing down with a nice Jewish girl feels like that's been chopped up, right?
Yeah.
There's bits with Galactus that feel like they were cut. There's bits with the Silver Surfer, right? Where Silver Surfer kind of turns, right? And you're giving the motivation for the turn, but it feels like there's probably another scene where she really is like considering or thinking, or another conversation that was not there. I highly suspect Franklin Richards had more to do. He's a baby. I highly suspect that he showcased his powers more in the original script. Besides him resurrecting his mom, right? I feel like there was more in there. And I don't have evidence for all these claims, but it's a feeling. Okay? And what I got was I enjoyed the movie, but I had a feeling during and after watching that there was more movie that I did not see. And that irritates me. So even though I like it so much and it does so much good, I demand that the coward Kevin Feige release the Shackman cut immediately.
You heard that, Shackman fans? Stand up.
Yes. Yeah, all you Shackman fans, hashtag release the Shackman cut.
Yeah. But I could see, especially with like the Thing. I'll get a bit more into how I feel like how the Thing was portrayed in this movie. But like overall, right? I thought this was really good. This movie was really well made. It was really good, and all I can say is that the movie was fantastic.
Fantastic, you say. It's passed. All right, so we're gonna move straight into the rating here from initial thoughts, and we can talk about some further things as we go along. But
Oh, did you give your initial thoughts, or was that all you wanted?
That was my initial thoughts. Yes.
Oh, okay.